You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella.
Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel today. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we'll be cutting and sewing a very fitted long pencil skirt. If you're interested, keep on watching and let's get started. I'll start by folding my fabric. So I'll fold into two like this. I folded the opened edge of the fabric into two, and then I'm going to fold the folded edge of this fabric over it like this. So you notice that I didn't fold over it completely. I left about 1.5 inches. That is going to serve as my zipper allowance. The 1.5 inches is going to serve as my zipper allowance. So the open edge of the fabric is the back, while the closed edge of the fabric is the front, and I have my zipper allowance of 1.5 inches on the back. Okay, so my fabric is folded into four. I'll be cutting both the front and the back together. The next thing I'm going to do is to measure the length of my skirt. So the length of this skirt that I'm making is about 45 inches long. So what I have on this fabric is about 47 inches. So I'm going to take half an inch out of the waist. I'm also going to turn the remaining part over with a lining on the base. So I'm going to leave it the way it is. The next thing I'm going to do is to roll half an inch on the start of this fabric. I'm going to roll out half an inch. This half an inch is going to serve as my guideline. So I'll start placing my measurement from this half an inch. After doing that, guys, you're going to determine whether you want to add a band to your skirt or not. If you are adding a band to your skirt, go ahead and determine how wide you want the band to be. For example, if you want the band to be 1.5 inches, take out 1.5 inches before you start placing your measurements. So let's say I'm adding a band of 1.5 inches. I've taken out 1.5 inches. I'm going to now mark the distance from my waist to my hip. Okay, so I'm not adding a band to mine, so I'm going to start taking my measurement from the half inch guideline. So I'm going to place my tape. The half inch guideline is going to serve as my waistline, and I'm going to take the distance from my waist to my hip, which is 11 inches. I'll mark all the way to the end of this fabric, just like you see me doing, and I'll roll a straight line across. So this line is going to be my hip line, and the line on the guideline, which is the half an inch mark, is going to be the waistline. So I'm going to label this line my hip line, and I'll label the other line the waistline, just so I don't get confused. After doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to place my measurement. So you can see that I'm placing my measurement backwards. Okay, I'm placing it from the folded edge of the fabric, and I'm not placing my measurement on the zipper allowance. So on this waistline, I took my waist circumference divided by 4. I added 1 inch for that, and I added 2 inches as my stitching allowance. Look at the way I'm placing my tape from the folded edge, not from the zipper allowance. On the hip line, I'll take my hip circumference divided by 4, and I'll add 2 inches as my stitching allowance. On the hip line, I'm not adding any dart allowance because the dart is not going to reach the zipper, the hip area. So I just placed my hip circumference divided by 4, and I added my stitching allowance. What I'll do now is to connect from the waist to meet the hip, just like this. After doing that, I'm going to place my tape on the hip line. What I have there is 14 inches. That is my hip circumference plus 2 inches. I'm going to take out the 2 inches allowance because I don't want the base of the skirt to be too big. So I just marked 12 inches, which is the exact hip measurement that I'm working with. So I'm just going to connect now from the hip to meet the base in a slant like this. If you don't want the base of your skirt to be fitted, you can go ahead and connect from the hip straight down to the skirt length. And if you want it to be really fitted, you can as well go in. Okay, so I'm taking the exact hip measurement. You can decide to still reduce like 2 inches from the hip measurement. It depends on what you want. Okay, after connecting, this is what I have. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut. After cutting, guys, this is what I have. We have the front and the back. We have 2 pieces for the back, and the center front is on fold. The next thing I'm going to do is to reduce the center front by 1 inch. So on the folded edge of this front, just the front piece, okay, just the front piece, I'll go down by 1 inch and I'll indicate the 1 inch. After doing that, I'm going to use my ruler to slant from that 1 inch into the other side of the waist area, just like you see me doing. I'm doing this so that the waist area is going to sit perfectly on my waist when I'm done sewing. Okay, so after slanting, I'm going to go ahead and cut. So you are doing this just for the front, okay? Don't do anything, don't touch the back, okay? So I raised it up just so I don't cut out the back with the front. After cutting, this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do, guys, is to cut out lining piece for both the front and the back, and I'll be doing that off camera. The only difference is I'm going to make the lining piece about 1 inch, okay, 1 inch or half an inch shorter than the main fabric. So before I cut out my lining piece, I'm going to go ahead and notch my zipper allowance. The zipper allowance I left was 1.5 inches. I'm going to indicate the 1.5 inches and I'll notch it, okay, just so I know where my zipper allowance is. I'll repeat the same thing on the base. After doing that, guys, I'll go ahead and cut out my lining piece. So guys, I've gone ahead to use the fabric to cut on my lining, and like I said before, I made the lining half an inch or 1 inch shorter than the main fabric. That is the only difference. Okay, so this is the front. I'm going to open it up like this, right side facing me, and I'm going to place my lining on it. You can see the half an inch, okay, you can see that the lining is half an inch shorter than the main fabric. What I'm going to do is to drag the lining piece, okay, to be the same length with the fabric, and I'll go ahead and sew the base on a straight line. After doing that, I'll sew the waist area and I'll sew the side. I'll just leave a little bit of opening on the side so I can turn everything inside out. I'll repeat the same thing for the back piece. So if you're adding a band to yours, don't sew the waistline because you're going to turn everything inside out through the waistline. So I've gone ahead to sew my lining and my fabric in place, and I went ahead to iron everything. So this is what I have for the front and for the back, and you can see the half an inch that I folded on the base. What I'm going to do is to place the back on each other, right sides facing each other, and I'm going to mark my zipper allowance just like I did before. The zipper allowance that I left was 1.5 inches, so I'm going to mark the 1.5 inches. Okay, I'll connect it into a straight line, and I'm going to now place my front piece on the 1.5 inches. I don't know if you understand. I'm trying to take away the zipper allowance just so the front and the back is the same. As you guys can see, after placing them together, you can see that the front and the back is the same. So what I'm going to do now is to take in my dart. So I'm going to place my client's nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So whatever your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 is what you are going to use to take in your dart. I'm going to place a nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I will indicate that, and then I'll go down by 3.5 inches, which is going to be the length of my dart for the front. On this straight line, I'll take half an inch on both sides and I'll connect like this. Remember, I left just 1 inch for my dart intake, so half an inch plus half an inch is 1 inch, and the length of my dart is 3.5 inches for the front. So for the back, I already took out my zipper allowance, so from the zipper allowance, I'll still take half of my nipple to nipple measurement, and I'll go down by 4 inches. 4 inches is how long I want the dart for the back to be. On this straight line, I'm going to take half an inch on both sides. Remember, we left just 1 inch for the dart, and I'm going to connect like this. After doing that, guys, I'm going to head over to my sewing machine and I'll take in my dart for the front and for the 2 back piece. After taking in my darts, guys, this is what I have. So this is what it looks like on the inside and what it looks like on the outside. After taking in your dart, just go ahead and iron it flat. The next thing I'm going to do is to fix my zipper, and before I do that, I'm going to determine how long I want the zipper to be. So I want the zipper to be at least 11 inches long. So I'll place my tape like this and I'll go down by 11 or 12 inches. Okay, after doing that, I'm going to connect, making sure that I'm marking my zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. Okay, after doing that, I'm also going to determine the length of my slit. So I'm making the slit about 20 inches because this skirt is quite long, either 20 or 18 inches. It depends on what you want. Okay, so I'm going to mark the length of my sleeves, my slit. You can see that I'm marking from the base of the fabric. Okay, so what I have left in between the slit and the zipper area is what I'm going to sew. So I'm going to just continue marking my 1.5 inches zipper allowance. Okay, I'll mark it and I'll connect. After connecting, that is the only part I'm going to sew. I'm just going to sew the center, leaving my zipper allowance open and my slit allowance open. Okay, so I'm just going to sew on a straight line. Okay, so guys, this is my front piece. I've also gone ahead to take in my darts. This is what it looks like on the inside and what it looks like on the outside. Okay, so for the back, I've gone ahead to sew the center, that is the straight line, and this is my slit and also my zipper allowance. The next thing I will do is to go ahead and fix my zipper on this zipper allowance area. I'll go ahead and do that. After fixing the zipper in place, this is what it looks like. So I'll open it up for you guys to see. This is how long my zipper is. Okay, and I've also gone ahead to tack the slit just so it's very strong. I'm not going to fold it inward or anything. I'm just going to iron it flat. That is all. The next thing I will do is to bring back my front pattern, and I'm going to place it right sides facing right sides on this back pattern, and I'm going to arrange the sides just like you see me doing, just so everything matches up. I'll pin all the way. After pinning, I'm going to go ahead and shape my skirt. So I'm going to teach you guys the easiest way that I shape my skirt and my dress. The first thing I do is to take note of the exact measurement of the waist and the hip. The exact measurement that I'm working with for the waist is 38 inches. And I'm going to now divide the 38 inches by 2 using my tape. Okay, 38 divided by 2 is 19 inches. I divided the waist measurement by 2 because my skirt is already in 2, not in 4. So I'm going to place my tape on the waistline and I'll measure what I have there. What I have there right now is about 23 inches and I want 19 inches. So I have to take out 4 inches from these 23 inches to get my 19 inches. So this is easy. I'm going to place my tape on this side and I'll take 2 inches out. I'll place my tape on this other end and I'll take 2 inches out. After taking the 4 inches out, you can see what I have left, which is 19 inches. Okay, so we have our waist measurement. So I'm going to place my tape and I'll go down by 11 inches, which is the distance from my waist to my hip. I'll mark 11 inches on both sides. So the actual measurement that I'm working with for the hip measurement, the hip circumference is 48 inches. So just like we did before, I'm going to divide 48 inches by 2. Okay, I'm going to place my tape like this. What I have is 24 inches. I'm going to place my tape on the hip line like this, and then I'm going to measure what I have. What I have there is 27 inches and I want 24, meaning I have 3 inches left to get my 24 inches. So I'm going to divide that 3 inches for both sides of the skirt, meaning I'll be taking half an inch on both sides. I'll take half an inch from this side and I'll connect from the waistline to meet the points just like this. Make sure you have a little bit of curve on the hip area, and then I'm going to place my tape like this on this other side and I'll take out 1.5 inches. After doing that, I'm also going to connect just like I did for the other side. Okay, yeah, that is all guys. That was easy, right? Once I place my tape, I have my 24 inches. From this point, what you do with the base totally depends on you. So you can decide to just connect straight down to the base. You can decide to curve it, whatever you want to do, but I'll just connect straight down. After connecting, I'll go ahead and sew on the straight lines. After sewing, I went ahead to turn my skirt inside out, and this is what it looks like. The last thing you are going to do is to iron everything flat. And yeah, that is all for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like this video, leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.